Thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting of the Property Committee to order for May 7th, 2020. All members of the committee are present and accounted for. First order of business is approval of the minutes of our March 5th, 2020 regular meeting. We had no meeting in April. I would entertain a motion to approve the March 5th minutes. Member Thompson, second. Member Smith, any questions, discussions, or corrections? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes for March 5th, 2020 signify, I guess, by raising your hand. Those opposed? All right, motion passes. Do we have any appearance by members of the public today?
Chairman, we do not.
Okay, very good. Diving down into the regular part of the agenda under department reports, first up is Mr. Doherty, our Facilities Management Director. Welcome to Property Committee meeting. Would love to hear how things are going and happy to have you walk us through the information you provided in the packet.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Things overall are going well at this time. We are overall we're preparing for cooling our air conditioning season. Doubtful how soon it's going to hit us, but at this point we are on schedule to cool most all the facilities. That's our main fare right now. I'll go through my list here. Assume everybody got that. And are the little captions, photographs, are those helpful to everyone? All right, good. Animal shelter, we really haven't been out there in the last couple of weeks. So we've been out to replace some light bulbs, stuff like that, just routine things. Government Center, we have started up the cooling systems this year, and we are in the thick of washing chiller condenser coils. So that's going quite well. Mr. Smith, I think it was. No, Mr. Smith, I think if you've noticed, the granite wall was repaired in the parking lot. Hope that meets your satisfaction.
Yeah, I actually got some pictures of it while they're doing it.
Great. Better than myself then. I've noticed we've got a little bit more caulking to do over there, just to seal up some of the joints in between the granite panels. We'll get that done before winter. Health Department, the new elevator project continues on schedule. It's going quite well. The east elevator is up and operational as of April 15th. And I just noticed I have to send in for the permit for that. So as far as the certificate for that elevator. So it's going quite well. I missed the guys today. They do work 4 10-hour days, and I missed getting over there this afternoon. But as of last week, they were ahead of schedule, just slightly on the west elevator. We've had miscellaneous things. We've had a water cooler on the 5th floor we replaced. We've had a couple, 3 potable water leaks that I've got scheduled to repair with a contractor. Unfortunately, that's on the communicable disease side of the facility, so that's going to have to be a Saturday project. And we added the words triage center to the front signage. Juvenile detention center, we experienced a sewage backup last week, and we had to call in a contractor, auger out the piping. I don't know if this was an influx from interior of the building or just from the substantial rains we had that backed up the sewer, but nevertheless, everything's okay now. Law and Justice Center, we've had a couple electric motors that were getting pretty noisy as far as bearings. We successfully changed those in-house. In fact, they are on pallets today, ready to ship out for repairs. We're fortunate to have spare motors for both air handlers. There's a few leaks on the old jail that we repaired last week after we had the tremendous downpour a weekend ago. We think we've successfully repaired those. Metcom 911, we did have another experience of low water pressure, and I did just talk to the city again today. The city and the airport authority maintenance are going to do some flow tests. It's something they do annually anyway, but they're going to get on those. The city did lay off part of their water treatment or water facilities crew, so they've been working shorthanded throughout the COVID episode here. So they assured me that next week all workers are coming back, and they hope to get caught up and get out there. The museum, we applied several patches and actually did gain on some of the leaks on the east side of the building. It was about a 2-day effort there, but what we did do is hit the highlights, the worst looking places anyway, and it seems to taken some small effect on water infiltration inside the building. So I am working with roofing contractor Henson Robinson. I'm sure you've heard of them before, from Springfield. They've got some interesting ideas about the roof at the museum, and the next step in that is they've proposed to do a core sample of the roof material, and supposedly there's an overlay process that we may be eligible for and still come out with a 20-year warranty, being a rubber roof. So explained that to Administrator Rodriguez this week, and so we're excited about pursuing that as far as investigation and see what all it involves, and see if that roof will suffice as far as they do power wash it, and they conduct an adhesion test. So more on that at a later date. The new jail annex, we've had just routine maintenance there. Jessica Woods and I are working through with the contractors on a lot of HVAC things that were, just delinquent from punch lists, let's say it. And so that's going quite well. In fact, we've got a meeting tomorrow morning with several contractors, and hopefully we'll get some things resolved there. Personnel, we did filled our one maintenance worker position. And that gentleman's been with us now for 2 weeks, and he's working out quite well. Any questions?
Good, thank you. I would like to step back, if we could, to the jail annex and the HVAC issues we've been having. So far,
Sure.
you and Ms. Woods, you're satisfied with the response that you're getting from the contractors on that, and that seems to be flowing back and forth okay?
Yes and no. At least getting Jessica involved has shaken up the tribe more or less, and they are willing to come in tomorrow and discuss a lot of these matters. We're actually not going to sit at a table and discuss them. We're going out in the field and reviewing what the county perceives as problems, and we're going to get the contractor involved and the engineer, and hopefully we're going to have some resolution out of that. So yes, I'm liking the spirit and the efforts that are going into this so far, and I don't want to see us stuck with these residual problems for the life of that structure. So we're going at it pretty aggressive.
Can you remind me, is this River City Construction, or is this a subcontractor that they?
It's mostly their subs. River City would have contracted out and hired them, but it's subs, tier 1 and tier 2 subs.
Okay.
Like the mechanical contractor, it's the controls, it's pump issues. There's quite a long laundry list. The biggest problems as far as black and white being recorded on paper came out of the test and balance report, where there was over 29 deficiencies cited. So anyway, the other thing that happened over there this week, Firestone Roofing inspector was in, with the contractor from Henson Robinson, and they noted a few deficiencies. So I don't believe we're getting the warranty just quite yet until the contractor gets in and resolves his issue. I think it was minor things. It was caulking around flashings and stuff like that. So
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Okay. All right, Mr. Jordan, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Okay, next on the agenda, Mr. Steffa, Parks and Recreation.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Put together a report of potential revenue loss for from the COVID-19 with the parts of the park being closed. Obviously, camping is pretty much our bread and butter of our revenue stream, so that's going to take a big hit. But basically what I did was take the last 4 years in April and all of May and average those together, and that's how I came out with the $72,000 over all of our facilities that are closed. If I had to take a guess, I would say that's probably a very conservative number. I wish I had better news, but there's not much we can do, obviously, but I'm sure that number is going to go higher than that. On the flip side of that, our boat registration sales are going through the roof.
Oh,
Since people are allowed to fish out here. Both boat launches are open, our hiking and biking trails are open. So I've never seen this many people hiking our trails before, so I guess that's a good thing. I think we're getting some good publicity out of this, or good exposure. So that, I guess, is a positive. But like I said, our boat registration sales are going through the roof. So that's really our only revenue stream right now. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about that report or any of our facilities or anything that the property committee has.
Vice Chair Beard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Steffa, could you remind me, what is the plan as of right now going forward for camping and for the park in general?
Okay, I just want to make sure, should I mute this when I'm not talking, or is it okay to leave my mic on? I just don't want to, I want to make sure I'm doing things right.
You're fine. You can leave it on, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Member Beard, we're going to follow the what Governor Pritzker says, the state guidelines. We're hoping with the different phases, we're hoping we can open sometime in June. We're going to miss one of our biggest weekends, Memorial Day weekend, but really, there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. So we've curtailed spending. Obviously, spending any money on capital items or improvements are at a halt right now. We've cut our staff back. Basically, just the full-time guys are working right now. So, and I don't see any of the part-time people working until probably at least the 1st of June. I'm sorry, I kind of got off on a rabbit trail there. Did that answer your question?
Well, I think so. All of the estimates you had are through May 31st, and
Right.
I almost read it assuming a June 1 open date, but as of today, that's not yet determined, right?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
a June 1st reopen date for camping, that is not determined as of today, right?
That is correct.
Any other questions from the committee? Johnson?
Get my microphone on. Thank you, Mr. Steffa, for the report. I really appreciated you breaking down kind of what we're looking at for the next kind of month or the last month and a half. About the boats, have we basically sold out all of those slips for rentals, or do we have more space?
We still have more space. We added some more docking space last year
Mhm.
and filled a few more, but we still have some space for rentals. Yes.
And if I remember correctly, we are prepared to expand that if the need arises, right? We had a contractor we work with that can do that. Okay.
Absolutely. The gentleman's out of Bob Jagley out of Winona, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's
All
very
right.
prompt with his service. He actually has to actually has to fabricate the metal parts. He does that himself. So that's basically where the time comes from. But he's pretty prompt on that stuff. We've been a customer of his since, well, I've been here for 30 years, and that's as long as I can remember. So
Okay.
he treats us well. Let's just say that.
All right. And then I know that we, if they do decide to allow camping, that we're ready to just open and go whenever they give the green light.
We are ready and raring to go. Everybody's kind of chomping at the bit here, but we miss our regular campers, obviously, but the restroom shower facility is up and running. It's ready to go. Really, we have done one pass through with the privy toilets, but since it's been closed, there's really no reason to clean them every week, because we've shut those down when people are not able to use those in the campground or anywhere else.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the committee? Mr. Beard?
Thank you, and sorry for talking so much. I do want to say thank you. I had a chance a couple of weeks ago on that. I think it was a really nice Thursday to take the kids out to Kamlara, and it was nice to see it being used, and also nice to see people doing a good job of not bunching up. And I know for residents of McLean County, it's so appreciated. People are stressed. There's a lot of it's very difficult for a lot of folks right now, and the opportunity to go out there and enjoy nature in a safe way at Kamlara is really appreciated. So I just want to again thank you for. I'm glad we were able to keep the boat ramps open and fishing open, and that people are getting good use of the park. So much appreciated.
Thank you, but some of that thanks should go to our administrator and her office as well.
Member Friedrich?
Yeah, I'm thankful that the trails are getting used. I'm just curious, Mike, is that number 10% higher, half again higher, that the people are walking the trails? Give me an idea of how much more increase in that you're seeing today.
We haven't officially, determined that, but if I had to take a guess, I would say at least 50% higher. I have never seen cars parked in some of these parking lots where the parking lot's not only full, but they're parking along the road too. So I'm actually out here. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'll try and turn around here. My daughter and I are out planting trees right now, but there's a parking lot down there, and I've never seen more than one or two cars there before this happened. And there's been times where there's 20 cars there, and families are coming out. I've just never seen the park, the trails especially being used this much. People are parking. We have a parking lot kitty corner to the park visitor center. Every day, every nice day, that thing is full and people are out walking around. Or
Have you,
fishing.
do you have a means of like a tripwire going into the entrance of the park where you can count the cars? I think that'd be a great thing to know. I don't know if you've ever done that or ever had a need for that. I think that's super. And when you said 50%, that's awesome. I think that'll lend itself in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to report that, keep that, you know, maybe as a tally or something like that to just show or just keep track of the numbers.
Yeah,
you.
last time we did that was when Mr. Wasson was the director. That was several years ago. I would say probably at least 20 years ago. We had.
Oh, Mr. Steffa, you muted yourself.
Am I back on? I'm sorry.
You're back.
You're okay.
I don't know how much you heard of me. I'll just start over again. Several years ago when Mr. Wasson was the director, it's probably 20 plus years ago, we had one of those vehicle counters, those little rubber things that go, hoses that go across the road at the entrance of the park. We could do that, certainly do that again. I can look into that.
Any other questions from the committee? Mr. Steffa, could you talk through if we are able to open Kamlara up a bit more to RVs and to camping and things like that, are there any special steps you and your staff are going to have to take to make sure that facilities are cleaned or that things are distanced appropriately?
I think pretty much all of the facilities will be able to get going right away. The only facility I'm concerned about right now is the beach. And the reason being is our lifeguards have to be certified. Well, they can't get recertified right now. That's the main concern I have right now. So I have a call into one of our people that research our lifeguards. I haven't heard back from her. I just called her yesterday because Brad Wood, our operations supervisor, and I sat down and we talked about, if we did get to open back up, what that would be probably the most difficult facility because we'd have to make sure our guards are certified. Now, I don't know if the state, I am going to try and get a hold of somebody at the state to see if, I know they've been doing a lot of, like for instance, the vehicle stickers, they've been given like a 90-day grace period. I don't know if they would do that again. If they do that for lifeguarding, I don't know, but if they would, it'd be great. But then again, I don't know for sure. So that's something I'll have to find out. But that really is the only facility that has me concerned. Everything else won't be a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Steffa. Appreciate you bringing this information forward, and especially the work you do to down the financial impact this is having on our Parks and Rec department. So thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody.
Administrator Rodriguez, I believe you are next on our agenda.
I am next. Thank you, Chairman Barnett. I don't have a lot to bring forward to the committee today other than to thank the department heads that report to your oversight. They've been doing an amazing job. They underscored themselves on their ability to be agile in this situation. Mr. Steffa and Mr. Doherty are keeping all of their staff working, coming to work, motivated. And also, he's not in the virtual room with us today, but the supervisor of custodial, James Gilbraith, is doing the same. I mean, the jobs that these folks have to keep us clean and cool or warm depending on the season, and also then to take extra visitors at the park seems, it's worth mentioning. So I'm grateful to them and for their leadership during this time. I only have my, Chairman, I only have my report on positions on the last page of your packet on page 6. I'd be happy to answer any questions about that or anything else the membership has regarding property committee that you had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Any other business or communications to come before the committee from anyone? Okay. Well, with that said, we have bills to pay. We've received a note from the auditor saying that these bills are accurate and up to date. Our bill total for this month is $1,131,073.59, and would appreciate a motion from the committee to pay said bills. Motion by Member Smith, second by Member Johnson. Any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the payment of bills signify by, oh, I'm sorry. Vice Chair Beard, did you have a question or were you voting in favor?
I was casting my vote early.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All those in favor of approving the bills? Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much. All right. Well, with that said, Property Committee is now adjourned. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today, and please stay safe and stay healthy.
Bye.